Can't call it a comeback season. YG's out here for a reason. Tempting part of the work. If you ain't down with a six, that's treason. All of the ball we all in. All of the shots we're calling. All of the offs we falling. Do it over again in the morning. Can't call it a comeback season. YG's out here for a reason. Tempting part of the work. If you ain't down with a six, that's treason. All of the ball we all in. All of the shots we're calling. All of the offs we falling. Do it over.
This is episode 2, I guess. Normally we'll do like discussions with others, but I wanted to do a interview, interviewing some of people from our community. So I got someone from our community who has I reckon helped shape our community in Melbourne, in the Polynesian community, and that is Poasa Telepe. Thank you for joining me.
Oh good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So, I reckon you went viral with your SBS interview. What was it? Was it this week?
It was this week. It was posted this week.
Alright, sicky. We'll talk about it later on. But first, I wanna start off with your childhood, yeah? Because were you born and raised in Auckland?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Auckland, in Otara. I was born in Middlemore Hospital.
Oh, so you were the same.
Yeah, so that's where we're all at, so yeah.
Yeah, true. So you were born and raised in Otara. How was growing up in Otara for you?
For us, it was hard. We had no car, but everything was close in Otara. Our house was like, 5-minute walk to the shopping centre. Yeah. But the life in New Zealand was a struggle. We didn't have much family because all our family was here in Australia.
Okay.
But the life in New Zealand was basically just, it was difficult to just find support.
Yeah, yeah. Because you grew up, were you the oldest out of your 8 siblings?
Yes. No, so I'm the oldest of the 4 of my brothers. And I got other 4 older brothers and sisters that's older than me.
Okay.
I'm just the oldest in the household. So yeah.
Okay. So 8 of you guys in one house here, with your dad?
No, just 4 of us. 4 of us. So there's 4 of us in one house, and then there's 4 rest in Sydney.
Oh, Sydney. Okay. So, how old were you when you moved to Australia? So how old were you when you moved to Australia?
So I moved here when I was 13.
Yep.
13, 14. That's all I remember because I moved here because I made the Victorian under-14 state.
Yep. In
Victoria. And from then onwards, I decided, my parents and I decided to stay because it was a great opportunity from my rugby footy going onwards.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that was the reason why you guys moved to New Zealand, to Australia, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you moved to Australia, how was it like, living here? Like, how were you guys when you guys first moved to Australia? Was it?
So when we first moved here, it was weird. It was just a struggle to fit in because it was like a new environment for us. We're not used to. For myself and my brothers and my dad, we're trying to get familiar to where we are and live the different lifestyle that is in here in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah.
But over here it was more easy because it was closer to everything, our family, especially my nana as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, true. That's true. Did you miss the lifestyle that you had in New Zealand, or?
Yeah, I just missed the vibe, like just missing my friends, also my close ones, even my teachers back home. Just those who kept on just pushing me to where I am now and supporting me. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true though. So we'll start off with your schooling life, yeah? So how was school when you came down to comparing from New Zealand and Australia,
Mm.
how was education for you in both?
So for me, New Zealand, they're basically the same.
Mm.
It's just depending on how you take it. In New Zealand, it's the same as like the same education-wise. And here in Melbourne, Australia, it's just the way you take it. When I moved here, it was more like real, like like you have to like submit things and like it's like real. It's a struggle.
Mm.
But when I moved here, it was just more like you have to. It's a must. Like it's compulsory.
Yeah.
And back in NZ when I was in school, like I wasn't focused that I was just mostly in just my sports. Like every sport in school I will always attend.
Yeah.
I don't mind about the academic side. I'm just all in the sport industry. So yeah.
It's true, because I reckon like going to school in Australia, it's hard because you have to submit things and like your teachers are on your back and like you have to do this and that.
Yeah.
And there's like so much that you have to do in order to pass.
Mm.
I reckon that's it's kind of hard here in Australia. But what you call it, when you so you went to Vic Uni?
Yeah, I went to Vic Uni.
So how was Vic Uni? How was a student becoming a student in Vic Uni?
Oh, it's an honor being in that school because I've been moving around in Melbourne. So I went first. My first school was St Albans Secondary College, and then I moved to Copperfield College. Then I moved again. The reason why I moved again was because I got a scholarship in Victoria University Secondary College for rugby, and ever since then, like the bond and like the way the school is, it's good to be around. Yeah.
That's good. You mentioned that you got a scholarship. You got a scholarship for Vic Uni. How did you feel at that very time when when you got the scholarship and also when you told your parents about your scholarship? How did you feel?
I felt blessed because it was just a door opener for my career.
Yeah.
In rugby, because rugby is always going to be my number one dream to reach, and it always will be, because that's a passion for me, and I love to play, and yeah, I was stoked.
Yeah, that's good, because I reckon like everyone in Melbourne especially know who you are and I reckon now know your journey because watching your SBS interview. And I guess because I watched it and I was like, yo, this guy, like when I was watching your interview, it really blessed my heart and really made me motivated, that to chase your dreams and and the sacrifices you made in order to for your family really blessed my heart. And I reckon you blessed everyone's heart because you have a heart, I reckon, of a warrior. And like it's this world that we're living in is tough. We go through so much, but the thing is, with you, it's different because you dealt with your own personal stuff, but you also dealt with family stuff as well. And like I reckon warriors can only do that also. And I reckon you're one of the I want to say you're one of the greats because you were willing to sacrifice everything. You sacrificed your own self to provide for the family, and I truly respect you for that. And especially being raised in a Islander family, like I reckon Islander families, we go through so much. Not many of us are rich. Not many of us, can buy things and and like buy things like that. But with you, like you sacrifice so much, and I know that God has a purpose and He has a plan for your career, and I reckon you will go so far because of the sacrifices that you made to begin with.
Like one thing I just want to add into that is humbly take what you say, and it's just for me, I take it and it's just a voice for others, not by talk but by my actions.
Yeah.
I don't want others to look at me as, oh, this guy, like is the greatest, but I'm not the greatest. Because there's only one greatest, and that's God. God is the King of Kings, and He's the only one that deserves all praise. And if it wasn't for God, like, you know, I've been praying every day. Just to ask Him, like, what's your answer? What's your purpose for me? And for me, it's like, I just don't want others to look at me as, oh, he's the greatest. All I want to know is that, it's for them to know is that I'm just being a voice through by action.
Yeah.
For those who's going through the same situation as me, like there's other ways to go through it. And for me, it's a blessing. And exactly what you said. It's all like the islander, like the way the island life lives. We just need to learn. Like, for me, is what I did was a blessing, because it's for my family and all of that. I've learned what I've learned. So from my work, I work for Karis Mentoring. I have my mentors, strong mentors, Tia Suamai and Lusa Washburn. They're the one that played a big part of my life, and what I've learned from them is to build the vow of your family. And with that, it came with a strong quote that they blessed in my heart was, in order to be a leader, learn to serve. For me, like, all I've done was to serve. I'm not here to be a leader or be the one on top. I'm only here to serve. So that's what all our calling is from God, is to be placed in this world to serve, and that's what I'm here to do, and I'm blessed to be a part of. So
Actually, like, honestly, like, I was watching funny because I was watching your interview over and over and over again, because I told my brother, because I was like, oh, I want to interview someone that has truly changed. I reckon is a good role model, and someone that everyone looks up to. And I was thinking, and there's not as many role models that we have in our community. But then I was like, yo, how about Poasa? Because from yes, you do TikToks, and yes, you do your live and stuff like that, but there's another side of you that really blesses my heart, is that whenever you're on your life, you always find the time to sing a gospel song, or to whether it's This Is the Day, or whether it's This Little Light of Mine. You always have that segment, or I guess that time where you jump on your live and you sing a gospel song or medley. That's what I want to ask you is, throughout the singing and throughout your journey in this world, what part, or not what part, but like, how has God truly influenced your life in this journey?
Big time. My dad always he always tells me every day, like, like, God is the reason why you're like this. Like, if it wasn't for God, like, this wouldn't be you. And the reason why I'm like this is because there's a light in us. And what they see God in you. They see that light. Once they see that light, that's a sign of God. And for me, like, God played a big part of my life. Like, ever since I was little, I've been to church. I've been singing in church. I've been playing for church, and ever since that, it was just a hobby. It was just a lifestyle for me. Like, all I can say is just that, like, it's a blessing. Like everything is from God, and I've got nothing much to say, because He's the reason I am here today. So yeah.
It's true. We'll go to rugby now. Where did this passion of loving rugby, of watching and in playing rugby, where did this passion come from? Where did the love of this sport come from?
Good question. It just came from when I was just watching a game. I was always watching the Warriors back in New Zealand, because they're the only league. But I was born and raised playing in union background. I played for Otahu Lions, and Papatoetoe Rhinos, And those are the two union clubs I've been raised when I was playing. When I was playing union, I've always followed like, the greatest, Dan Carter. I've always followed like Joe Rockefeller back then, like the all-time greatest rugby players, and Kevin Mialam. Like these guys were like the legends I've looked up to. And from then onwards, like the passion and the drive they had, just like and the success they've been through, just gives me like like I want to be like them. Like I want to be myself, to be up there. And from then onwards, like I moved to league, transferred myself to league. I played for Otara Scorpions, Otara, and like the league life was like it suited me. From then I started watching Roger Tuvasa Sheck, Steps, Steve Matter, his hits. I've been like watching so many like leaders that's in the game that just pushes me to be better on myself, like personally and just more inside of me. So yeah.
That's good. Now, during your, I reckon, your career in rugby, because you cannot just become a rugby player like that. The struggles, the training, everything that puts into a good rugby player career. Was there ever a time where you were like, oh no, I can't do it anymore? Or was there ever a time like, no, it's too much for me? Was there ever a time like that?
Yeah. So I hit rock bottom on last year. Like I made the squad for the Storm under Thunderbolts under 18s. And last year I had a incident. Got concussed 3 times within 3 months.
Okay. Yeah.
From then onwards, like I've been trying to work hard to get back on the get back to playing in the starting lineups. And from then onwards, like I've been training hard, and like every Saturday, every Friday or every Thursday, waiting for the team lineup. When they call it on the day, and they don't say my name.
Yeah.
Like every day, like every week, once I don't hear my name, I start doubting myself. I was like, oh man, why I'm like training my heart out? Like why can't they put me in the team?
Yeah.
And like from then onwards, like I doubt myself. And I was like, oh man, is there? Like I always pray to God. I was like, God, is there something that's wrong with me that they're not picking me?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I know that was a test. It was a test that, like is testing my patience, testing what I do if I'm not playing rugby. What else am I doing besides rugby? And like from then, when I wasn't playing rugby, when I wasn't playing every Saturdays, but I was just full of back in band practice, just hard out, just serving God no matter what, even though like I don't get the chance to play. And, like even when you're sad like that, even when you go through a stage like you want to give up, like there's always that moment that you feel in your heart. It's just you want to just cry out to God. Why? Like from then onwards, it was like I don't know why. And then till this year, I started playing. Like I was like, wow, like about time. I've been waiting for so long. And ever since then, when I started playing, I just felt the hunger more every game, like every Saturday. I felt like I want to play, keep playing. And it's just like God's just telling me, patience. Like, just wait. Like it's all in God's timing. If you wait and trust in God's timing, good things will come. And if you just do it and keep like forcing it, and when it's not the right time, who knows what will happen? So
that's true. I reckon the story that you just said, I reckon what I got from there was the timing. Sometimes like with ourselves, like we want something, but God's saying, wait, son, it's just right there. And like sometimes we just like, oh no, I want it now. But like God's, because once we do it in our own time, something always bad happens. Like once we're with God and God answers our prayers during His timing, then it's something that and it happens so smoothly. But like, and sometimes like with us, like, oh, we wait for God. 2 years comes, 3 years comes, 4, 5 years, and like we're like, wait, is God even listening to my prayers? But like not knowing that, God's plan, He already marked a day on His calendar where He's going to answer your prayer. And I think with you, it's a true, it's a I reckon it's a way to tell others, wait in God's time, because God will answer according to His timing. Like sometimes we want it, but God said, no, not now. There's something I want you to go through, and that is the test. And you went through the test. So now we're going to talk about your SBS News interview. How did it feel being interviewed, on SBS?
I literally I didn't know SBS. For me, coming from New Zealand to Australia, I don't know any of the news.
Yeah.
I don't know what the news are. I only know Channel 9. That's the only news I know. And when they said, "Oh, how would you feel if we interview in SBS News?" I was like, "Oh, okay." I thought it wasn't popular.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, cool. I'll just take the interview." And when they did the interview, I was just doing the interview based on how I felt. It was all out of heart.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this is just little. I was like, "Oh, just do it." Who knows? And then until I saw it posted on the news when they told me, "Oh, it's national." I was like, "What do you mean national?" It goes around all of Australia. It's like, what? And I was like, "Oh, no way." And then when they sent me the link and they sent me the what time it's gonna go air, I was like, oh wow. And I looked at it, and then when I watched it, I was like, wow. I was speechless. My heart was beating like this.
Yeah.
Wow. And my dad, and looking at my family, they're so proud. Especially my dad. He cried. I was like, "Sally, don't cry." It's but for him, to see a tear come down, it was special, because he doesn't cry. He's like, if you guys know my dad, he's he used to be a former cruiserweight champion in boxing. But when it comes to things like this, he has a soft spot. And to see him cry is
I think, watching your parents, watching your dad, for example, cry, it's when he cried, I think it was a determination, my son made it. Or it was it's another accomplishment that you have done. And I'm not a parent, but I know how it feels when your loved one is doing so well. And I reckon that was the same reaction or the same feeling that your dad went through. Oh, my son's there. My son's at that stage. And I think, it's all glory back to God, but I think your dad was quite happy, raising such a young, raising you and your other siblings as well. I think it's a testament of how your dad raised you, and to keep on fighting in what you believe in, to keep on overcoming, all obstacles that come in your way. But what I want to mention from your SBS interview is about when you started talking about your dad. Now, you didn't finish year 12, because you're in year 12 this year?
Yeah, I'm year 12 this year. I'm almost finishing. So we're in school holidays, and this is our first week of school holidays. Next week is our last week of school holidays, and I've got 3 more weeks of term. 3 more weeks of the last term of school, and then...
Yeah, that's good though. Keep it up, because I reckon you're going to do so well. And in your interview, you stated that you went to work, you went to go look for a job because your dad was ill during the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Especially, during this pandemic, a lot of families have suffered a lot financially, but you took it under your wing to go look for a job and you help your dad. How did it feel,
Yeah, for me, I didn't like I said on the news, I said it on my heart, I didn't want to leave school, but I had the choice to, because I can see it for the family. It was tough. The way I see my dad, he was sick. He had some problems with him. Even with he had to handle with gout, the lungu.
Yeah.
He had to handle it, and the Islanders, they hate. That's the one thing they hate.
Yeah.
The lungu is. For me, it shows that I looked at it and didn't want to put any more pressure for my dad, just because he's been doing too much for me. Dropping me off to training, and my training is far, he'll drive me to training, wait there for me so long, and then drive back from training to home. He'll do that consistent every day, and that's why I look at him and it's like, man, this is so much to even being by himself. So for me, I looked at it as, you know, I had no choice to just leave school, and leave my rugby and just go straight just to find a job and help out, because you know COVID-19 is just
it's hard, I guess, especially during this time, because coronavirus just hit everyone, and like everyone's affected financially, mentally, and physically. And what you did, I reckon, is a testament to, you know, like no matter how old you are, always serve your parents, and that's no matter what you go through, you should always serve your parents, and that's one of the things that we're taught as islanders, is to always stay under our parents, always respect our parents. And with you, you went a mile, you took an extra mile, and you were like, no, I want to get a job, support my parents, support my dad, who is currently ill at that time. But yeah, mad respect to you was because I reckon, you know, what's the word? You've went through so much this year, but also you got the blessings that God gave you, because God doesn't leave you unattended. Like there's a Bible verse in the Bible that says, "What you sow is what you reap." And what you sowed during the struggles, during trying to keep your family together, that's what you will reap, and that is the blessing we are in rugby. How is your dad now? How's your old man now?
No, he's good. My old man's good now. You know, he goes for his walk now and then, just to, you know, keep his exercise stop. Like because this quarantine is like it's ruining not just ourselves but everyone, mentally and physically. And for me, I tell him every day, you know, go for a walk. Just, you know, let your blood, you know, keep pumping, instead of you just sitting down, going like straight on Facebook or whatever, and just eating and just sleep. Like it's bad. Like, you know, like everyone would know how the feeling of just staying at home doing nothing. And for me to tell them just to go for a walk, just for a walk, even if it's just a walk and not doing anything, just walk and just keep your blood pumping and stuff. And that's the only main key, because your health is the main number one priority for yourself in this situation, in this, you know, this hard time. So right now is basically I look out for his health, and that's the main thing. Like I don't want nothing happening. So
that's cool. Well, we'll continue to pray for your dad and keep him in our prayers for continuous healing. But there's something that I want to talk to you about. Oh yeah, besides from your dad, who was another person that inspired you throughout your journey?
Throughout my journey, through this time, I'll go back to my Kairos mentoring, my mentors, Tia and Lusa. They're the reason. They're the reason why I've been so strong physically and spiritually, especially my spiritual side. Like I've never been so strong. Just like when I was I was in the Kairos mentoring in the Tautai. I was in the program for 3 years, and within the 3 years I picked up so many things that I've learned from them, and from then onwards this year I started getting close to them. And we had a recent pass away from one of the boys in Brimbank, and he was one of our little ones. And from them, when they came to encourage us and benefit us and just comfort us, it made me feel like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this for others. And for them, as they told me, is in order to be a leader, you need to learn how to serve. And for me onwards, I was like, you know what? If I have to serve my family, if I have to serve my friends in any way, just to just to be that person to help them, I'm grateful. That's me.
That's good there. Because it's always good to have mentors, and I reckon you may or you may not know, but there are people who look up to you, especially in our Islander community. That there are people who look up to you like, yo, I want to be just like Poasa. That because you truly demonstrate that no matter what struggle you go through, if you look that there's a light under every tunnel, then you'll reach that goal and you'll reach the destination. But you know, sorry to bring up the dissension, but like this year has been a tough year for you because you lost a dear friend. Because I heard about it, but I didn't know who he was. But many of the kids who I worked with in Melbourne's North, they knew who your friend was. Can you tell us, I guess, who he was and how he impacted your life?
Yeah, good question. It was more based on our surroundings. Reason why things happen these days is because it's just surroundings. If you surround yourself with people that would encourage you to do good things, to do the best for yourself, then that's the surroundings you should surround yourself with. And for me, what that opened me up was to, you know, when things get rough, you need to talk. It's just, you know, it's common sense. Like people like us Islanders, we think that we're strong physically, we're strong mentally, but inside them, like there's that little part of them they know they can't handle, but they want to keep it to themselves. And for me to let them know is that once you open yourself to others, it's not embarrassing. It's not a shame to hold it. Like you got, like that's the reason why us polys we tend to like hold it in, but it will literally break you down. Like, but if you open yourself to others, they will understand where you're coming from. They won't judge. The only people that will judge you are the people that you don't even know, or the people that don't even support you. But those who would literally like love you for who you are, support you no matter what, they would understand the story and they would just do whatever it takes just to help you. And for me, it's just, you know, the surrounding matters. Yeah, so yeah.
That's true. So I reckon what you mentioned is that we're too worried, even though we're hurting inside or there's something that we can't handle, but we want to put on a brave face and we don't want anyone to know. But the thing is, it's always good to open up, and it's always good to talk about what your insecurities, or whether it's depression or anxiety. It's always to open up. And I guess that's the stigma that we face as Islanders, is that we don't want to talk about it because it's a sign of weakness. When we cry, especially for us Islander boys, when we cry, it's a sign of weakness as well. But not knowing, you know, it takes a lot of guts to cry, and that's something that we need as Islander, you know, men and young boys, is to when you're gonna cry. When you're feeling like you can't handle it, don't keep it in yourself, but talk to someone. You don't want to talk to your parents, talk to your siblings, talk to your friends. There's always someone out there for you. But I reckon with what happened to your friend, it truly, I reckon, brought the community together. I guess because, you know, the violence that we faced, you know, between one island gang to another, it's a true resemblance that, you know, don't bring your gang into this, but, you know, that the power of your country, that the blood that you carry is more powerful than the gang that you represent. But I want your thoughts about, you know, this whole gang violence and, you know, one Islander gang versus another Islander gang. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Like, my thoughts, it's to me, it's immature. Like, I'm not being like, for me, it's as if you know us Islanders, we're a culture that we love to, you know, build people up. We're a culture that, you know, we're a loving culture. Like, and for me to see Islanders fight over Islanders, there's a word to it.
Mm.
It's wrong. Like it's wrong.
Yeah.
Like islanders are meant to back up islanders. Islanders are supposed to support one another. And for me to see it, like it's a shame. Like you know, it's a shame because like it's either because of their background, it's either because of their upbringing, and to that it could be the loss of identity. That's what I've learned in Karis mentoring is that some people who join the gang or being part of the gang is because they don't know who they are.
Yeah, it's true.
It's because they're trying to find something to fit in and be a family. Because in a gang, when what do you call a gang is a family.
Yeah.
And for others that they don't know who they are and they're trying to find somewhere to fit in, they tend to find a gang.
Yeah.
And when you're on the gang, you tend to do like so much different things. You tend to do negative things, like most things that you will get yourself into trouble.
Yeah.
And for me, the reason why that happens is because they don't know their identity, they don't know who they are, and they don't know what their background is. And for me, if that's islanders to islanders, that's obvious. They don't know who they are, and they don't know what their background is. And for me to just encourage others out there that's going for it, for me to tell islanders, they need to learn who they are. They need to find themselves of who they are. Because once they find who they are, they tend to feed from others. They tend to find another Samoan. They tend to learn from others, and then from then you get to build that relationship. As a community, as one. So for me, it's like I hope that further down it will change. For the better. So.
Yeah, it's true. Because I reckon seeing our own people, truly represent their own postcode more than their blood. It's kind of, I reckon, disappointing because we grew up always represent your blood, always support your country, but now we're seeing like Samoans versus Samoans, Tongans versus Tongans, and it's sad because the 4-digit number does not do much, but the blood that runs through your veins, it's where you come from, your Nash, that means more than your postcode, I guess. But there's something good that happened to you, I reckon. Was it last week or this week? You got signed to an agent?
All glory to God. So I think it was last month it was last month. I got signed by an in-or-out agent. Just blessed. Blessed to be part of his name's Dixon. Clever. And for me to know that I get to be a part of his family, his his surroundings. It's a blessing, and to know that I'm trying to fulfill my dreams, and it's almost there. I just want to keep pushing to the best I can, and to see that he believes in me, to see that he sees potential in me. It's just so warm heartfelt. So I'm grateful.
It's good because like what I'm going to say it again, but everything that you went through this year and your journey in becoming a rugby player, this is God's time for you to shine, your gift. I'm so happy for you. Like, it's funny because we've never spoken before, but you've spoken to my brother, and he told me all about you, and I was like, this is someone that I reckon everyone would be blessed to hear your story, because your story is your tests that you went through has now become a testimony, and I'm so blessed to have pretty much talk to you, and you to share your story, because your story needs to be heard. Yes, SBS, and I hope that through this interview that we're doing now, it can help bring light to the Islander kids, knowing that, you know, whatever you go through, to keep on striving. And I guess that all the Islander kids, especially the boys, they want to do rugby. They want to play rugby. And I reckon, what is your advice to all the young ones out there who, you know, who want to pursue rugby as a career?
For me, it's all about consistency, staying consistent, staying hungry for what you want, because nothing comes to you like this. Like, you have to grab it, you have to go get it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, the hard work, you know, the sacrifice, you know, the hard grind behind scenes, like, you know, the late night grinds, these all would come into like, you know, into a dream that you would really want to see at the end of the road. So for me, I say, for those who wants to chase the dream, is, you know, the sky's the limit. Don't limit yourself.
Yeah.
Don't say you can't do anything. You can. Take the T off the can't, because you can. And for me, I always say it in my heart to everyone. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And through everything you go through, you know, pray to God to provide strength, because, you know, the things you do behind scenes that no one can see, but they will see when you do the good yards and do the hard work. And you, like, for example, all you see are these professional fighters, or for example, Joseph Parker, David Tua, they've done the hard yards behind scenes.
Yeah.
They spew, they've trained hard, they sweat, that we don't see. But we're fortunate to see, because the cameras are everywhere.
Yeah.
That their hard grind, they go hard no matter what, and it shows big time when they fight. And for us, for me, it's like, whatever you do behind the scenes, do it with purpose. Don't do it because you have to do it. Do it with purpose, because you want to do it. So for me, I do it because I want to do it. I do it because it's my purpose.
Yeah.
It's a calling for me. So yeah.
It's good, because I reckon all other kids need advice, because, you know, some of us, like, we want to pursue something, but we don't have the encouragement from someone who's been through that. So your story has truly, I reckon, inspired so many young ones who want to pursue rugby. But you have 8 siblings in total. Like, you have 8 siblings in total. You have 4 currently living with you and your old man. You know, I want to ask, how is life, you know, living in, you know, being in a family of 8 kids?
The life is so warming, and it's a blessing, because I get to talk to them. You get to play, like, it's like a bond, a family bond.
Yeah.
It's a joyful thing you get to do. You get to play around with your brothers and sisters. You get to create memories with your brothers and sisters. And for me, like, you know, the biggest one that I really, like, regret, but I don't regret, because it's part of a sacrifice. I missed my sister's wedding, and she was the last girl to get married in our family, and it was hard, because this was the game that I had to stay back to play for the Thunderbolts, to play against Canberra Raiders.
Yeah.
And from then, I missed the game. I missed the wedding just for the game, and it goes to show, you know, the sacrifice is real. And for me, like, you know, me missing my sister's wedding, like, I told her, you know, my heart is with you. Everything you do is all the sacrifice. It's all about love.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what you do, it comes with a great result. And for me, it's like missing, like, let's say, missing my brother's birthdays, missing, like, everything, any special things about the family.
Yeah.
Like, that's all sacrifice. But for me, I'm sacrificing for the better, for the end. I want to give back to my family. I want to show my family that, you know, whatever they need, I can provide.
Yes.
Whatever they want, I can provide. and whatever they want to see. Like, I want to be a good role model for my family, for the next generation to come. Like, I have my recent born niece, my older brother's new first born baby, Malia. She's one of a beautiful personality, and I really want to just be that kind of older uncle or older brother or just a best friend to look up to. So yeah, that's me.
It's true. Like your sacrifice, to do well in life, and like your career meant so much to you that you had to strive because you can support your siblings later on in the track, and I reckon that speaks volume. And your story, and I'm so thankful that I got to sit down with you and just talk about your story, because like I keep on saying it, because your story needs to be heard. You have the tests, the struggles that you went through is now a testimony for you to share to everyone. And I'm so blessed to have sat down with you to talk about everything from moving from New Zealand to Australia, being including in the state team, then having an agent sign you. These are all the blessings that you've gotten from God, and that just shows that hard work pays off. But what are you doing now? Since we're living in the coronavirus pandemic, what are you doing now since everything has stopped?
So what I'm doing now is I'm still training, but I do my own training behind scenes. I have to, because like even those who's going through the same thing we're all going through in Melbourne, if just take the time while you're at it. Like, don't stop the grind just because of this COVID-19. You can do your own thing, like, go for a run every morning. But this COVID-19 it's a test as well. If you're staying consistent in your dreams or in your gift, if you're still training on it, then that's the main thing, because nothing can stop you dream. Nothing can stop your dream to dream big. And for me, is to for those who's going through COVID-19 or going through this pandemic, stay hungry, stay grinding, because it will show once this COVID-19's over, then you get to show, you get to play, you go back to your playing, back to your lifestyle, and it'll show what you've been doing this whole time underneath COVID-19. And for me, what I'm doing now, I'm working Tuesday, Thursdays, Karis mentoring, coming up with a project that's coming up soon. It's called Be Free. It's a project to allow our Pacifica students out there in our school community, to be free. And Be Free, it has three different. It says be free, be you, be true, and be free. So be you is no one can be you. It's only you and only you. You can't be like no other. Like, I can't be like you. You're different. The reason why you're different, because you're created unique. You're created in a different way. And for me, it's like I tell others, be you. Don't be like others, because you're born to be you.
That's true.
And to be true to who you are. If you say you're Samoan, be a proud Samoan, because that's being true to who you are. And be true can also be true to your surroundings. If you know that's not your surroundings, you gotta move. Like, if they're not moving, then you have to move. If they're staying that one spot and your career's over here and they're staying here, then you gotta move. Be true to yourself, because when you be true to yourself, you're allowing yourself to know more of your roots. You're knowing your roots, and to be free. Be free as you live the dream. There is no limit. If you see a sign and for, like, think in your head, imagine yourself, you're in a car and you see a 60 zone, but really the car goes beyond 60. It goes 220, 260, and you're just by yourself in the car, and there's that limit. For me, push it. There is no limit. 60 isn't your limit. For me, to you guys, 60 isn't your limit to where you go. You go beyond 60. if you need to drive as fast as you can to get to the top, go past 60, because there's no limits to your dreams. And for me, that's the project I wanna do with my group, and to release out to our schools in Melbourne and around the Brimbank area. And that's what I'm doing now. So yeah.
Good. That's good. I want to talk to you about. Can you explain more what you're doing? So it's called class mentoring?
Yep. So it's Karis mentoring. It's we're a Pacifica mentor. We are to inspire others, to impact their lives, and just to be an influence. And what we do, we build their self-esteem, self-awareness, and self-confidence. And with them, we go to other schools, other communities, just to build them up and come back together, and just to inspire. That's one key. We're here to inspire. We're not here to put our name for ourselves. No, we're here to just inspire, to influence others and just to impact them. Because that's what we are here for. And us as Pacifica, we are good at that. We are good to help our community, and that's what we do. So,
well, mad respect for you also, and the work that you're doing with people who are working alongside with you. It's good that there are people out there who are trying to support our community, trying to make a change, because we want change, but in order to get changes, we have to do it ourselves. What you're doing also is a good job, and I respect you and everyone who's involved with this. But what is your future project that you're planning to, what's a future thing that you have planned for yourself?
So my future plan is to build my family up, and once I'm done with that, once my family's settled, I'm gonna start hitting communities, hitting where it's weak at, and start building up the community, building up just families that's going through the same struggles, but knowing that we can help. We can be a voice for them. If they can't speak, we can speak for them.
Yeah, that's true.
And for me, it's just my ultimate dream is to be part of the community and just work for them. It's all about one heart, one soul, and one mind. And for me, if we come together as one, we can do all things. We can accomplish everything if we're all together at once. So yeah.
That's good. I just want to thank you also for sitting down with me and talking about your life, because your life is a true story, and I think everyone will be blessed to hear your story, as well as you have blessed mine, because you have motivated me to keep on going, to not stop, and to that there's no limit in life, to keep on going. And I think you've inspired everyone else, including myself. So I want to thank you also. Is there something that you want to tell people who have your fans, I guess, your fan base? Is there something that you want to tell your people, just, I don't know, something that you want to tell them?
For me, is if anything is going wrong around your area, or you're around, you're struggling, don't be shy to open up. That's one thing about us poly people. We tend to think it's embarrassing or it's a shame to talk about it. It's not. It really isn't. We all understand. And in order for us to grow or where we at, please open up. It's the greatest thing, and trust me, once you open up, you start to realize, oh, that's the best choice I've ever made. And for me, I've opened up so many. Once I open up, once you open up, you create doors for your family. You create opportunities for your family. And if you just hold it in, you block everything that's meant to come out. For me out there, not to my fans, but you guys are my family. No matter what, Like, I didn't see you as a fan. I didn't see you as whatever. I see you as my family. So no matter what, we are family. No matter what culture you are, I still count you as family, not a fan. You're my family. And for me, it's just to tell you guys, as a family member, as a little brother, or as a older brother to you, or just a uncle, or whatever, cousins, whatever, like, just to say, open up, just talk. Talk to your family members. If you're struggling, talk to those who you think that will help you. And if not, you got Karis Mentoring. Talk to Karis Mentoring. They have so many help. They can help you as much as they can, just to get back to your feet. So that's from me also.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me. If you want to continue, please continue to follow Poasa's journey in his rugby, whatever he's doing. I'll put his socials underneath this video. But please, thank you so much, Poasa, for sparing this time or this moment to talk with me. It's a blessing, and thank you for being my first interviewee. So it's a blessing. Thank you so much. That is the end, I guess, of POV, Polynesian's Own View. Thank you so much. Have a blessed week, and just know that you are enough. Thank you, guys.
All of the offs we falling, do it over again in the morning. Sick, I call it a comeback season. YG's out here for a reason. Hampton parts of the world. If you ain't down for the six, that's treason. And on the ball, we all in. All of the shots we